Gilmore Girls in those 22-hour days. No, we're not just going to gloss all over. In fact, we're going to do a little deep dive on what it was really like being on set during those scenes. How did the actors deal with it? Forget the actors. How did the crew deal with it? Because we were the ones that were on set for the majority of that time. Also, what iconic moments were filmed on those days? And do me a little favor and let me know where you would have taken a nap, because I'm going to tell you one of the ways we coped with it was finding clever places to nap on set. Now, me personally, I would always go back to the costume trailer, roll out a little foam mat, and shut the lights off until that hour lunch was over. Hi, I'm Valerie. I was the key set costumer on Gilmore Girls, and I share a lot of fun facts from behind the scenes, which are only possible when you engage with this post. So please make sure to hit all those buttons. What iconic moments were filmed on those crazy long days? And do I have any fun stories from behind the scenes? Of course I do. Lazy, crazy, hazy days of summer. Remember that barbershop quartet? Sorry, I know that song is going to be in your mind right now. But the day we filmed with the barbershop quartet and the little dancers, that whole festival scene was filmed in one day and night. It took 22 hours to film that day, and I remember it distinctly because I remember Jackson was observing Amy as a director. He wanted to direct, and later he would go on to direct. He wasn't the only one observing Amy. There was another actor there. His name is Fred Savage. Anyways, Jackson came there bright and early. He was there every single day we filmed that episode, watching and observing Amy. And one thing that was really funny was around noon or somewhere in the middle of the day, Fred Savage rolls in, takes up a director's seat. They are both observing, they're hanging out. And I don't know, a few hours later, Fred Savage leaves. Now, we are at the very end of this day. It is a crazy day. I've talked about it before. There is a very weird thing that happens. Anyways, this is the part that gets me every single time. We, the crew, are starting to get a little loopy because we've been there a very long time. And I remember seeing Jackson and I was like, Jackson, why are you here? And Jackson was like, I'm not going to leave now. I want to see this day out. Jackson, go home. You don't have to be here. We have to be here. And I said to Jackson, where's Fred Savage? And then we all started to scream at the top of our lungs, where's Fred Savage? Every time I saw Jackson, I'd be like, where's Fred Savage? The next time I remember us filming a crazy long-ass 22-hour day, we were filming scenes in a mall. That was a very long day. In fact, we came in, started to film all the stuff in Macy's, got kicked out of Macy's, went up to the escalator, then the food court, and then they didn't have anything else to shoot. So they decided, you know what, we should shoot another scene from another episode. You know the scene where Lorelai is talking to the lingerie salesperson at Victoria's Secret? Well, that scene was not supposed to be filmed that day. In fact, they just kind of created that set on the fly. I'm sure they were working on it and they decided, okay, well, let's just ship it to the mall. So they literally took that set, built it in one of the empty mall storefronts, and we filmed it. And then we continued to shoot over at Macy's when we were finally allowed to go back into Macy's after Macy's closed. This last one was during Lane's wedding, and it was not a fun moment. We were shooting in the back lot. I remember standing in front of the church outside. It was nighttime. I don't remember what we were shooting, but I remember we had a lot of background, a lot of actors, and the producers were asking us if we could send someone home early so that they could set the rooms in the morning. And we still had to wrap a ton of people that night. And those same people were going to be in the scene the next day. And there was going to be a lot of laundry we had to do. It was just going to be a nightmare for whoever stayed. And it wasn't really fair. I remember going like, this isn't fair. This is going to take this person 3 times as long to wrap by themselves in the middle of the night after doing a 22-hour day. This next one's more of an honorable mention. I don't know if it was actually a 22-hour day. What I do remember was we were filming a film by Kirk. Not the film, but the premiere for the film. Everyone is gathered right in front of Stars Hollow High with the film projector aimed at the screen. We see close-ups of the actors doing their lines. We also see from their backs onto the screen. And one thing that is notably absent from this thing are the cast from A Film by Kirk. Kirk, aka Sean Gunn, and Mary Lynn Rajskub were not in any close-ups from that scene, and I'm going to tell you why. Whenever production knows that they are going to be doing an incredibly long day, they will order a second meal. Now, the day that we filmed A Film by Kirk, they decided to do that. Now, what you might not know about the second meal is not only is it a break for the crew, but it also slows down the momentum of the scene. We are filming and then all of a sudden we have to stop 6 hours after lunch. So the night we filmed that, we had broken for a second meal. And I remember because Mary Lynn Rajskub, who played Kirk's girlfriend in A Film by Kirk, was back at the catering area, and I remember sitting with her, and she was wearing my red personal vintage dress. Brenda had wanted her in a vintage dress, and I had a bunch of them. And I said to her, "Oh my God, you look so cute in my dress. Can't wait to see you on set." After our little second meal, I remember we continued to shoot, but the momentum had sort of slowed down to a snail's pace. Everyone was just kind of going through the motions. It was taking forever to shoot all of these scenes because everyone was so tired. And it was getting late. And by late, I mean early. The sun was threatening to come up when they finally called Sean Gunn and Mary Lynn Rajskub down to set to shoot their close-ups. After all, it was their film. They finally get them in their seats. I look over to Mary Lynn and she is a wrinkled mess because she literally slept in my dress that night. Camera sets up the shot. They are slapping on filters and talking code about how to process the film because the light was coming up in the sky. Eventually the sun was up and we wrapped. But that shot did not make it into the final cut. I think it was just because there was too much light in the sky. Whenever we did these crazy all-nighters after working an incredibly long week, my set partner and I would take turns being on set. I'd tell Sasha, like, "Hey, why don't you go back to the trailer and rest since it's not on Lauren right now?" And I'll watch the set, and then she would do the same for me whenever I needed a break. Oftentimes, I remember taking a nap on the mat and listening to the walkie-talkie in case she needed something. It wasn't the most restful experience, but at least I got a few minutes of shut-eye. But yeah, these 22-hour days were not fun.